Welcome to Storytime with Dr. Sheila, where stories come alive, brilliance is celebrated, and young minds are inspired to dream without limits. Well, hello, brilliant minds. I'm so glad you're here today. I hope you've had a wonderful day full of learning, laughter, and love. Are you ready for another episode of Storytime with Dr. Sheila? You are? Well, great. Let's get into it. But of course, we have our very special friend who's joining us again today. Hello, JR.
Hey friends, I'm JR, and I'm so excited you're here. I'm a curious kid who loves books, asking questions, and imagining big adventures. Reading takes me to incredible places. And guess what? Today, I get to share one of those adventures with you. So turn on your listening ears and your biggest imagination. Or something like that.
That's awesome, JR. I'm so proud to have you with us. Now, friends, let's get ready to grow our minds and our imaginations with a wonderful story. But before we begin, let's sing our very special song. And guess what? JR will be singing with us today. Let's go.
The more we read together, the more we read together, the smarter we'll be. First I'll read, then you'll read, then you'll read, then I'll read. The more we read together, the smarter we'll be.
Good job, JR and friends. The more you read, remember, the smarter you'll be. All right, brilliant minds, it's story time.
Hey, Dr. Sheila, what are we reading today?
JR, I'm glad you asked. Today's story is Kyvir Roars into Preschool, written by Desiree Dussablon. Are you ready for this story? Well, this amazing story is about a little boy named Kyvir who's beginning preschool. And he's a little nervous about it, but he finds out that preschool is going to be a wonderful place for him and it's full of fun. Maybe you've started a new grade or a new school, boys and girls, and you understand how Kyvir feels in this story. Are you ready to listen to it? All right, let's go. Kyvir Roars into Preschool, written by Desiree Dussablon. Kyvir loved mornings at home. He built tall towers with colorful blocks, blasted his spaceship through imaginary galaxies, and cuddled with Leo the lion, his soft, scruffy best friend. But today wasn't like other mornings. Today was his first day of preschool. Kyvir's tummy felt like a jar of butterflies had tipped over and fluttered inside him. Mommy knelt beside him, her smile warm and gentle. "Today's your big day, buddy," she said. "Preschool is going to be so much fun." Kyvir hugged Leo tighter. "But what if nobody plays with me?" he whispered. Daddy leaned over the kitchen counter, zipping Kyvir's blue backpack. "There are toys, songs, and friends just waiting to meet you," he said. "But what if I don't like it?" Kyvir's voice wobbled. Mommy placed her hands on Kyvir's shoulders. "It's okay to feel nervous, but you're braver than you think." Kyvir looked down at his sneakers. "What if I miss you?" he asked softly. Mommy pulled a red marker from her pocket. "Hold out your hand," she said. She carefully drew a small heart on his palm. "Whenever you miss me, just look at this heart. It's like I'm right there holding your hand." Kyvir traced the heart with his finger. His tummy still felt funny, but maybe, just maybe, he could be brave. He took a deep breath, squeezed Leo, and nodded. "I'll try," he whispered. Kyvir held Mommy's hand tightly as they stopped in front of the preschool. The building was bright and colorful with a big red door and windows filled with painted handprints. Inside, kids laughed and played, but outside, Kavier's feet stayed stuck to the sidewalk. Mommy squeezed his hand. "Let's take a deep breath together," she said. Kavier took a shaky breath. His fingers curled tighter around Leo. The moment they stepped inside, Kavier's ears were filled with new sounds, giggles, crinkling paper, the soft hum of a teacher's voice. His eyes darted around the room, and he saw so many new things. There were bright paintings covering the walls and blocks towering on a playmat. There was a little girl laughing as she twirled in a dress covered in sparkles. It was a lot to take in. Kavier squeezed Leo. Then a warm voice called his name. "Hi, Kavier," said a teacher with curly hair and a big friendly smile. "I'm Miss Elena. Do you want to see the block station?" Kavier looked up at her, still unsure but curious. "There are blocks?" "Lots of them," Miss Elena grinned. Kavier's eyes widened when he saw the towering blocks. "Wow," he whispered. "Want to build a rocket ship?" asked the boy with spiky hair, holding a big blue block. Kavier hesitated, looked at the heart on his palm, and said, "Okay, let's build the biggest rocket ever." Together, they stacked blocks higher and higher. The rocket wobbled, but didn't fall. "It's ready to blast off," Kavier shouted. "Story time," Miss Elena called. Kavier sat on the soft rug, hugging Leo tightly. Miss Elena's voice filled the room. In the deep, deep forest lived a little lion, but this lion had lost his roar. Kavier sat up straighter, hugging Leo close. The lion felt small and unsure, just like Kavier had felt this morning. The lion tried to be brave. He took a deep breath, he stepped forward, and then he found his roar. Kavier's fingers traced Leo's fuzzy mane. Maybe he could find his roar too. After story time, Miss Elena set out jars of paint. "Who wants to make rainbows?" she asked. Kavier dipped his brush into bright blue paint. Green paint splattered onto Kavier's shirt. "Oops," he giggled. "Great artists make messes," Miss Elena laughed. During lunch, Kavier sat between his new friends, Mason and Amara. "My sandwich looks like a spaceship," Mason said. Kavier laughed. "Mine looks like a dinosaur." After lunch, everyone lay on soft mats for quiet time. As he cuddled Leo, he noticed a funny feeling in his tummy was gone. He felt happy. The soft music wrapped around him like a warm hug. When quiet time was over, it was time for the playground. Kavier zoomed down the slide, arms stretched wide. "Whee!" he shouted. "Look at me," he called, climbing back up. "I'm faster than a spaceship." At the end of the day, Mommy was waiting by the preschool gate, waving. Kavier's heart leapt. "Mommy!" he shouted, running toward her. Mommy scooped him up into a big hug. "How was your day, buddy?" Kavier's face lit up. "It was amazing. I built a rocket ship, painted a rainbow, and slid down the slide faster than a spaceship," Kavier said proudly. Mommy laughed. "Wow, that is amazing. And I made 2 new friends, Mason and Amara," Kavier added. Mommy squeezed his hand. "I'm so proud. I knew you had bravery in you." That evening, Kavier showed Daddy his rainbow painting. "It's a masterpiece," Daddy declared. Kavier laughed. "Miss Elena says great artists make messes. Daddy grinned. "She's right." "Tomorrow," Kavier yawned, "I'm going to build an even bigger rocket ship." The stars twinkled above as Kavier dreamed of colorful classrooms, new friends, and exciting adventures waiting just around the corner. Preschool turned out to be full of surprises, fun ones, and best of all, he learned that he really was as brave as a lion. And tomorrow? Tomorrow, Kavir would roar back into preschool, stronger, braver, and ready for another big adventure. The end. So, brilliant minds, in this story, Kavir was a little nervous about starting preschool, remember? But he took something to school with him to make him feel a little bit better. Do you know what he took and had by his side? It was his favorite lion. Remember, he took his lion? There it is, his favorite little lion who kept him safe. He felt like it kept him safe and make him feel brave, bold, and brilliant. So, friends, let me ask you a few questions about the story and see what you remember. So, Kavir was starting his first day, but was it his first day of kindergarten? Was it his first day of preschool? Listen, friends, maybe it was his first day of high school. I know, that's very silly. He's too small for high school. Here's Kavir, and he's getting ready to start his first day of preschool. You see what it says on this page? It says, today's your big day, buddy. This is his mom. She said preschool is going to be so much fun. Now, when Kavir was sitting there thinking about preschool, he felt a funny little feeling in his tummy. Do you know what he said it felt like? Yes, he said it felt like a jar full of butterflies had tipped over and fluttered inside his tummy. Brilliant minds, hold your tummy for a moment. Let's use our imaginations. Put your hands on your tummy, and I want you to close your eyes and make it feel like there are butterflies fluttering all over your tummy. They're fluttering all over his tummy or your tummy. You can open your eyes, friends, because Kavir felt a little nervous. He had butterflies in his tummy. Now, friends, let's see what has happened with Kavir in this story. All right, so on this page here, his mom drew something very special in his hand. Do you remember what it was? She drew a red heart in his hand. You see? She drew a red heart in his hand. And what did she tell him about that red heart? She told him, whenever you miss me, just look at this heart, and it's like I'm right there holding your hand. So maybe your mommy or your daddy or your parents or grandparents could draw a very special red heart in your hand when you feel nervous about doing something very special. It could just be playing a game or going on your first field trip or playing on a sports team. And ask your parents to draw a very special red heart in your hand when you feel a little nervous. All right, so now they were getting ready to enter the building at school. Remember, he's standing there and there's that big door. He's like, oh my gosh, he couldn't even move. He just stood in one place. But his mama gave him something to do. She gave him clear instructions on what he needed to do. What was it she told him to do? She told him to take a deep breath. Let's do it, boys and girls. One more time. When you take a deep breath, boys and girls, that helps to calm you down. So whenever you're nervous about something, take a deep breath and it will help to calm you down. Now, let's see what else happened with Kavir in this story. All right, Kavir was having a lot of fun and he was doing something where he made a big mess. He had a little mess on his shirt. Do you remember what it was? What he was doing? He was drawing a rainbow and he made a mess on his shirt. Did his teacher get mad and say, don't make messes in my classroom? No, she did not. She was a very sweet teacher. Miss Elena laughed and said, oops, it's okay. Great artists make mistakes. So she let him know that it's okay to make mistakes sometimes. Boys and girls, always remember that. You can make a mistake sometimes and it's okay. You just keep trying, be brave, bold, and brilliant, and try it again. Now we've come to the end of the story. Javier's mom is there to pick him up. She asked him, "How was your day?" Did she tell him it was an awful day? Did he tell her that it was a sad day? No, he said his day was amazing. That means he was very happy. His first day of preschool went very, very well. And what did Javier's mom tell him at the end? She told him, "I'm so proud. I knew you had bravery in you." So what does it say? He was brave, bold, and brilliant. Javier had a great time in preschool. Remember, he was able to play with those special blocks that reminded him of home. So sometimes when you go to school, friends, you can think of things at school that remind you of home, like those special blocks. And then also remember, he had that special heart that his mom drew in his hand to help him know that mom is always there to hold his hand. He just needed to be what? Brave. Also, friends, Miss Elena read a very special story to him in the story. It was a story about a lion. And you remember that lion in the story? He had lost his roar. Can you roar with me? Roar. He lost his roar. But he had to become very brave and stand up, be brave and bold, and he was able to regain his roar. I enjoyed roaring with you, friends. All right, this was a great story again. Javier roars into preschool. I hope you enjoyed it, friends. All right, brilliant minds, we've come to the best part of the story, our word of the week. Are you ready? Let's sing our special song.
It's the word of the week. Oh yeah, it's the word of the week. Oh yeah, it's the word of the week. Oh yeah.
Good job, brilliant minds. I hope you enjoyed singing that song with JR today.
What's our word for the week?
JR, our word of the week is adventure. Here's the definition. An adventure is a fun and exciting experience where you try something new or explore someplace different. Adventure. Let's use it in a sentence. Reading a book feels like going on an adventure without ever leaving the room. Again, boys and girls, what's the word of the week? Adventure. Good job. Well, brilliant minds, I hope you've enjoyed yourself today and had as much fun as I did. As we sign off, I want you to always remember our affirmation. You're brave, you're bold, and you're brilliant. You're brave when you try something new, even when you're afraid. You're bold because you do new things or even hard things with confidence. And you're brilliant when you use your mind to come up with new ideas or you use new words that you learn. You're being very creative. That's being brilliant. JR, did you have a great time today?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, boys and girls, I'll see you for our next story time. Remember, you're brave, you're bold, and brilliant. Have a great day. Parents, remember to subscribe, like, and share to keep our story time growing.